Hi, Charlie here. Some animals live very tough lives. Sometimes they experience adversities that should end their lives, but miraculously and against all odds they survive. From animals who were neglected by humans, to creatures who sustained injuries out in the wild, here are some animals who survived the impossible. Lion snare. Snares are traps set by hunters and poachers. They're basically metal wire that the animal gets caught in. This is a very common practice in many African countries with poachers, but it occurs nowhere more than in Tanzania. One lion in Tanzania's Mukimi National Park got caught in a snare. This happened in 2009. Under normal circumstances, the lion would not have survived. But miraculously, this snare stayed on the lion for 3 years. Despite the snare around its neck, the lion kept growing. But this meant the snare was continuously choking the lion's neck for 3 years. National Park rangers were aware of this lion's situation. They tried to rescue it 3 times, but failed every time. That's because of the very tough terrain, and the lion running away from the park rangers, assuming they were poachers. But finally in 2012, a 4th rescue operation was launched. The rangers managed to sedate the lion, and they then removed the snare from around its neck. The lion was very weak and in a lot of pain. The snare meant the lion was now too weak to hunt, and under normal circumstances this lion would not be alive. It's a miracle it survived, but these brave and determined rangers saved this lion's life. Now it can go on and live a happy life in the wild. Daniel the Miracle Dog. Sadly, when dogs go to the pound, many of them are put down. For example, every year Peter puts down thousands of dogs. In 2011, a beagle named Daniel was supposed to meet this very fate. He had been found abandoned in Alabama, but no one was adopting him at the overcrowded animal shelter. So Daniel and several other dogs were put into a stainless steel box. The box was then filled with carbon monoxide gas. This is to give the dogs a painless death. All of the other dogs in the box passed away, but miraculously, Daniel survived. The shelter staff were stunned and confused. They decided it must be a sign and kept Daniel alive. It's not exactly known how Daniel survived the poisonous gas. Some speculate Daniel may have had a cold. This would have resulted in him taking more shallow breaths, and thus breathing in less of the carbon monoxide. But either way, it's amazing Daniel survived what thousands of other dogs don't every single year. Daniel was named after the biblical figure who survived the lion's den. Six-legged deer. One day in Georgia, a deer was discovered after being attacked by 2 dogs. The person who came to the deer's rescue was amazed to see it had 2 extra legs. The deer has 2 pelvises, and uses 1 leg from each to walk. The deer also had 2 tails, but one had to be amputated because of the dogs injuring it. It does struggle to walk, but amazingly this deer can survive with 6 legs. Of course, the deer could have been injured in the wild, so instead it was taken to the deer sanctuary at the University of Georgia. There it will make a full recovery from the injuries sustained from the dogs. Plastic turtle. It's no secret that a massive issue right now is plastic in the seas. There is now 5.5 trillion pieces of macro and microplastic in our ocean, and every day this increases by 8 million pieces. One of the animals this affects the most are turtles, and no turtle represents this better than Mae West. When Mae West was a baby, she walked into a milk jug ring. The ring got stuck on her waist, and this meant her body and shell had to grow around it. This gave Mae West an unusual hourglass shape. Mae West is just one example of turtles being severely damaged by plastic waste. Mae West was found by a young boy in Louisiana. Thankfully, his family took it in and cared for the turtle. And it's amazing Mae West survived at all. In many cases, turtles caught in plastic simply pass away, especially if it gets around their neck and means they can't breathe. Mae West is an exception, but most turtles are not so lucky. It just goes to show how we really have to fix the issue of plastics in our oceans. One thing you can do is cut your milk carton rings. But of course, plastic pollution in the ocean is a much wider problem that we all have to address. If you're enjoying this video, then why not subscribe and press the bell too? It really does help me out. Two-legged cow. We've already seen a deer that had more legs than it needed. But on the contrary, this baby cow was born with no front legs. In most situations, cows may not be able to lift their head up to drink or eat. It would also not be able to move and would likely pass away very quickly. But amazingly, this baby cow learned to walk on two legs, just like a human. The cow was found in Indonesia, and it can amazingly walk around on its hind legs. It's amazing what animals can overcome if they have to. Most cows in this situation would not have survived. But this Indonesian bovine went against all odds and survived the impossible. Broken neck giraffe. Giraffes are famous for their long necks. They need them because all of the food they eat is very high up in tall trees. But what happens when a giraffe breaks its most important body part, its neck? Well, that actually happened to one giraffe in Botswana. This male giraffe is around 15 years old. Its neck is thought to be broken, and as a result, it's very crooked. Normally, male giraffes don't have hair on their horns. That's because they fight and the hair comes off. But clearly, this male giraffe has avoided fighting. That's because it has lots of hair on its horns. The giraffe may have broken its neck fighting at a very young age. This can happen when male giraffes fight over female giraffes, kind of like what us human males sometimes also do. But despite the giraffe's neck being crooked, it survived against all odds. It must have really thrown off its coordination. That's because its eyesight is offset to the left. But miraculously, this giraffe can still move around, eat, and drink totally normally. Siamese turtle. We've all heard of Siamese twins. That is when two babies are born as one person. It's basically two separate people connected. But have you ever seen a Siamese turtle? Most of the time when a turtle is born with two heads, it does not survive. But that is not the case with this two-headed turtle found in China. The turtle was found in 2017 in the Shaanxi province. The turtle has two brains and two minds of its own, but they're somehow able to coordinate. They can move around wherever they want to go. And the heads both eat and drink separately. The right head controls the right front flipper, while the left head controls the left front flipper. It's pretty amazing this turtle can not only survive, but thrive. The turtle or turtles are able to perfectly coordinate their movements. Hopefully this turtle goes on to live a very happy and healthy life. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Leave a comment down below telling me which animal was the most amazing. If you want some more great videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen you will love. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.